Namaskaram. In the vast tapestry of Sanatana Dharma, there are certain symbols that are not mere representations, but living, breathing tools for transformation. They are keys to unlock dimensions of life that are beyond the physical. One such profound symbol is the Hamsa, the mystical swan. This is not just a bird of beauty and grace, but a powerful emblem of ultimate spiritual possibility. The Hamsa glides through the waters of existence, embodying qualities that every human being is aspiring for, whether they are conscious of it or not. It represents a state of being that is deeply involved in life, yet utterly untouched by its turmoil, a state of pristine clarity and boundless freedom. Many have seen images of the Hamsa, perhaps as the vehicle of Devi Saraswati or Lord Brahma. But have you truly looked at what it is pointing towards? Have you considered that this gentle creature holds the very secret to discerning reality from illusion, to separating the eternal from the fleeting? The ancient seers and yogis observed this being not just with their eyes, but with a deep inner perception. They saw in its nature a perfect roadmap for the spiritual seeker, a guide to navigate the complexities of the human mind and the world around us. This is not about worshipping a bird, it is about imbibing the qualities that make it a symbol of the divine. In our exploration today, we will look into 12 distinct characteristics of the Hamsa. Each quality is a stepping stone, a practical instruction on the path of self-elevation. From its legendary ability to separate milk from water to its symbolic connection with the very breath of life, the Hamsa offers a complete science for inner engineering. If you are willing to look, if you are willing to turn inward, these 12 facets can become a mirror, reflecting your own highest potential. They are not just ideas to be understood, but states to be experienced, leading one towards the ultimate goal of human life, mukti or liberation. The most celebrated quality of the Hamsa is its legendary ability, its Viveka. It is said that if you offer a mixture of milk and water to a Hamsa, it has the unique capacity to drink only the milk, leaving the water behind. This is not just a charming fable. It is a profound metaphor for the most essential human faculty, the power of discrimination. In every moment of your life, you are presented with a mixture of truth and untruth, of the real and the unreal, of that which is conducive for your growth and that which entangles you. The world constantly serves you this blend of samsara and nirvana, bondage and freedom. Without Viveka, a human being is simply lost, swallowing the whole mixture and suffering the consequences. To cultivate Viveka is to sharpen your intelligence to a point where you can clearly perceive what is what. It means to be able to distinguish the eternal, the fundamental nature of your existence, from the transient, the fleeting thoughts, emotions, and situations that make up your daily drama. It is the ability to see the milk of consciousness from the water of mental chatter. This is not an intellectual exercise, it is the sharpening of your perception. A person with Viveka navigates life with clarity and purpose, making choices not based on compulsion, but on a clear seeing of what truly matters. This is the first and most crucial step on any spiritual journey. Observe the Hamsa. It spends its entire life in the water. It swims, it feeds, it rests in the water. Yet if you watch it rise from the lake, its feathers are almost completely dry. Water, which has the nature to wet and cling, simply slides off its plumes. This quality is known as Nirlepata, or detachment. This is the secret to living in this world with joy and effectiveness. Many people misunderstand detachment as indifference or a lack of involvement. This is a grave mistake. Detachment is not about running away from life. It is about being so fully involved that life does not leave a scratch on you. It is about playing the game of life with absolute intensity, but knowing that you are not the game. To be in the world, but not of the world. This is the yogic ideal embodied by the Hamsa. You are in your family, but you are not just the family drama. You are in your profession, but you are not just your job title. You are in your body, but you are not the body. This understanding, when it moves from an idea to a living experience, is true freedom. When you can immerse yourself in any situation without the fear of it sticking to you, without the anxiety of its outcome, you become truly powerful. You can love, work, and live with an intensity that a clinger can never know, because there is no fear of loss. You are like the Hamsa, gliding through the waters of life, utterly beautiful and untouched. The Hamsa is almost universally depicted as being spotlessly white. This brilliant whiteness is not merely an aesthetic choice, it is symbolic of Shuddhata, or purity. This does not mean a puritanical or sterile state of being. In the yogic context, purity means a state of clarity, free from the distortions of accumulated impressions, prejudices, and psychological baggage. It is like a clean mirror. A clean mirror does not have a character of its own. It simply reflects everything as it is. When your mind becomes pure, it reflects creation just the way it is, without judgment, without friction. This clarity is the highest form of intelligence. This purity is also expressed in the Hamsa's movement. It is the epitome of grace. There is no jerky or anxious movement. It glides with an effortless elegance. This grace is not something that is practiced. It is the natural outcome of a being that is in harmony with itself and its surroundings. When your mind, body, and energy are aligned and free from impurity, a certain grace naturally descends upon your every action, your every word, your very presence. Cultivating this purity means constantly cleansing the inner self, letting go of resentments, fears, and limitations. It is a process of becoming transparent to life, allowing the divine to flow through you with grace and beauty. The Hamsa holds within its very name the essence of the highest yogic realization. If you listen closely to the rhythm of your own breath, the ancient yogis said, you will hear a subtle, continuous mantra. With every inhalation, the sound is so. And with every exhalation, the sound is Ham. So represents the universal consciousness, the supreme spirit, Brahman. Ham represents the individual self, the I, Ahamkara. So your breath is constantly unconsciously chanting so ham, meaning I am that. You are constantly affirming the unity of your individual self with the cosmic reality. This is the Hamsa mantra. When a yogi perfects their practice and their perception becomes subtle enough, this mantra reverses. It is no longer a conscious effort but a natural state. The Soham transforms into Hamsa. The individual, Ham, comes first, followed by the universal, So, signifying that the individual has become a vehicle, a perfect expression of the divine. This is not a philosophical concept. It is a description of a transcendental state. The Hamsa, therefore, is a living symbol of the Jivatma, the individual soul, realizing its inherent oneness with the Paramatma, the Supreme Soul. It represents the pinnacle of spiritual aspiration, the dissolution of the limited self into the boundless ocean of consciousness. In the grand iconography of Hindu cosmology, the Hamsa is not just a bird, it is a Vahana, a divine vehicle. It is the chosen mount of two of the most significant deities associated with knowledge and creation. The Hamsa carries Lord Brahma, the creator of the universe. This signifies that the entire creative process, the very unfolding of the cosmos, is founded upon the principles that the Hamsa represents: discernment, purity, and the connection to the ultimate reality. Creation is not a chaotic accident. It is an act of supreme intelligence and discrimination, the very qualities of the Hamsa. Without this foundation, creation would simply collapse into chaos. Even more popularly, the Hamsa is the Vahana of Devi Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, music, art, and wisdom. This is a deeply significant association. It tells us that to access true knowledge, not just accumulated information, but profound wisdom, one must possess the qualities of the Hamsa. One needs the Viveka to distinguish knowledge from noise, the purity of mind to receive wisdom without distortion, and the grace to express it beautifully. The Hamsa, by carrying the goddess of wisdom, teaches us that the path to true learning and creativity is through the cultivation of these inner states. It is the vehicle you must build within yourself to journey into the realms of higher knowledge. The connection between the Hamsa and the breath goes even deeper, into the very mechanics of life itself. As we touched upon, the mantra Soham is linked to the breath. In the science of yoga, this is not just a sound, it is the very vibration of prana, the vital life force. The soundha is associated with the solar energy, the expressive outward force, which corresponds to exhalation. The soundsa is associated with the lunar energy, the receptive inward force, which corresponds to inhalation. The constant rhythmic dance of ha and sa is the dance of life itself, the pulsation of prana that sustains your existence from your first moment to your last. The Hamsa, therefore, becomes a symbol of the conscious, masterful use of prana. A yogi who practices pranayama is not just breathing. They are learning to ride the Hamsa of their own life force. By gaining control over the rhythm and flow of breath, one gains mastery over the mind, the emotions, and the very chemistry of the body. The Hamsa, gliding effortlessly on the water, is a perfect image of a being whose prana is balanced and flowing freely. Such a being moves through life with ease and vitality. To be unaware of this inner Hamsa, this breath, is to be tossed around by the currents of life. To become aware of it is to begin to steer your own destiny. The world you perceive through your five senses is not the ultimate reality. The scriptures and sages have referred to this phenomenal world as Maya, a veil of illusion. Maya is not to say that the world is not real. It is real, but your perception of it is distorted and incomplete. It is like seeing a rope in the dark and mistaking it for a snake. The rope is real, the snake is an illusion. The Hamsa's Viveka, its ability to separate milk from water, is the ultimate tool for Maya Vimochana, or overcoming this illusion. It is the capacity to see the rope as a rope, to see reality as it is, without the projections of your mind. This power of discernment is what allows a seeker to cut through the complex web of thoughts, emotions, and societal conditioning that constitutes Maya. It is the ability to ask the fundamental question, what is true? What is lasting? And to stay with that inquiry. The Hamsa does not get confused by the water. It unerringly seeks the nourishment of the milk. Similarly, a spiritual seeker must learn to look past the glittering distractions of the material world and seek the nourishing essence of truth. This is not a denial of the world, but a deeper engagement with it, based on clarity rather than confusion. Every time you choose consciousness over compulsion, you are exercising your Viveka and weakening the grip of Maya. The Hamsa's quality of Nirlepata, or detachment, is not just a philosophical ideal. It is the very pathway to inner freedom, or mukti. Bondage is not in the situations of your life. Bondage is in your reaction to them. It is the clinging, the craving, the aversion that creates the ropes that bind you. When you are attached to a particular outcome, you create anxiety. When you are attached to a person, you create the fear of loss. When you are attached to an opinion, you create conflict. This attachment is the source of all psychological suffering. The Hamsa shows us another way. It is fully immersed in the water, yet it remains free from it. Achieving this inner freedom means cultivating the ability to participate in life fully without being psychologically entangled. It is the freedom from the frantic ups and downs created by your own mind. When you are detached, you are not at the mercy of external events for your inner state of being. Whether you are met with praise or criticism, success or failure, your inner core remains stable and serene. This is the ultimate empowerment. It is not about controlling the world outside, it is about mastering the world within. This is the freedom that every human being is consciously or unconsciously seeking. The freedom to be joyful and peaceful, no matter what. The pristine white of the Hamsa is a constant, powerful reminder of the importance of Chitta Shuddhi, the purification of the mind. Your mind, or Chitta, is like a vast lake. Over lifetimes, many impurities have been thrown into it. The mud of past resentments, the weeds of negative thought patterns, the stones of fear and prejudice. When the water is murky, you cannot see the bottom. You cannot see your own true nature. The goal of all spiritual practice, or sadhana, is essentially to cleanse this lake. We must purify the mind from the afflictions that cloud our perception and cause suffering. This cleansing is an active process. It involves self-observation without judgment, consciously replacing negative patterns with positive ones, and engaging in practices like meditation and selfless action that quiet the incessant chatter of the mind. Just as the Hamsa maintains its spotless plumage, we must strive to maintain the purity of our inner space. This means being mindful of what we consume, not just food, but the information, the conversations, the company we keep. Every input affects the quality of our mind. By cultivating a pure mind, we create an inner environment of peace, clarity, and compassion, making it a fit vessel to hold the experience of the divine. Ultimately, all the qualities of the Hamsa converge on a single ultimate purpose, Atma Janana, the realization of the true self. The symbolism of Soham turning into Hamsa is, the entire map of this journey. It's the journey from believing I am this body, I am this mind, I am these emotions, to the profound experiential realization that I am that. I am the boundless, eternal consciousness that witnesses all of this. Meditating on the Hamsa is a powerful technique to facilitate this shift in identification. It is to constantly remind oneself of the unity that the breath is always whispering. This is not an intellectual understanding. You can read 1,000 books about the Atman, but honestly, it will not make you free. Atmajnana is a direct perception, a living experience where the illusion of the separate self dissolves. When you have the Viveka to see through illusion, the detachment to remain unbound, and the purity of mind to reflect reality clearly, the realization of the true self is a natural consequence. The Hamsa, gliding serenely, is a picture of a self-realized being. It is in the world, functioning perfectly, yet its inner reality is anchored in the vastness of the Supreme. This is the ultimate destination that the mystical swan guides us toward. The Hamsa's association with Devi Saraswati is not just about acquiring academic knowledge, it is about attaining jnana, or true spiritual wisdom. Jnana is not information, it is a transformative knowing that dispels the fundamental ignorance, avidya, about our own nature. This ignorance really is the root cause of all suffering. It is the mistaken identity of seeing ourselves as limited mortal beings. The qualities of the Hamsa are the very means to cultivate this Jnana Shakti, the power of wisdom. When we embody these virtues, we begin to see the world and ourselves through the lens of truth, not illusion. Discernment, or Viveka, allows us to separate the real from the unreal. Detachment, or Nirlepata, frees us from the emotional turmoil that clouds judgment. Purity, or Shuddhata, creates the clarity needed for wisdom to dawn. By living these qualities, we are no longer just accumulating facts, we are transforming our very perception. This wisdom is not dry or abstract. It is a living, breathing force that brings profound peace, unshakable stability, and deep compassion. It is the light that, once lit within, automatically dispels the darkness of ignorance, fear, and sorrow. Embodying the Hamsa is the practical path to becoming a Jnanai, a being of wisdom. Look at the Hamsa one last time. On the surface, it is an image of perfect calm and grace. It glides effortlessly. But beneath the water, its feet are paddling continuously, powerfully, and with great skill, navigating the currents. This beautiful image represents Atma Samyama, or mastery over the self. True mastery is not about a rigid, forceful control, but a relaxed, skillful, and powerful command over one's own faculties. It is an inner strength that is expressed as outer grace. The Hamsa does not struggle. It is in complete command of its movement, its energy, its direction. This self-mastery is the culmination of all the other qualities. When you have Viveka, you know which direction to paddle. When you have Nirlepata, the currents of the world do not pull you off course. When you have a pure mind, your inner mechanism functions without friction. To achieve Atma Samyama is to become the master of your own inner world, rather than being a slave to your thoughts, emotions, and compulsive habits. It is to have the resilience to face any storm with a calm exterior and a powerful, centered inner core. This is the state of a true yogi, a being who is self-determined, self-sufficient, and self-contained, just like the mystical, masterful swan. So, the Hamsa is far more than just a beautiful bird. It is a comprehensive guide for human consciousness, a spiritual technology encoded in a living symbol. Each of its 12 qualities, from the discerning Viveka that separates truth from illusion to the serene self-mastery of Atma Samyama, is a thread in the fabric of liberation. They show us how to live in this world with profound engagement and yet remain utterly free, how to navigate the complexities of life with grace and clarity. The Hamsa teaches that your breath is a sacred mantra, your mind a mirror to be cleansed, and your true nature a boundless reality waiting to be realized. It is a roadmap from bondage to freedom, from ignorance to enlightenment. This knowledge becomes transformative only when it is applied. It is not enough to simply appreciate the symbolism of the Hamsa. The invitation is to embody it. I encourage you to take a few moments after this video to sit quietly and reflect on these 12 virtues. Which of these qualities resonates most with you right now? Is it the need for more discernment in your choices? The longing for detachment from a painful situation? The desire for a purer, more peaceful mind? See these not as impossible ideals, but as practical steps you can begin to take in your own life, in your own way. Your spiritual journey is uniquely your own, but the Hamsa offers a universal compass. Let its image be a reminder of your own potential for grace, wisdom, and freedom. Let its call of Soham echo in your own breath, reminding you of the divine that resides within. By consciously cultivating these qualities, you are not trying to become a swan, You are simply becoming more fully yourself, unlocking the magnificent potential that has always been your true nature. Walk this path with courage and sincerity, and you will find that the liberation the Hamsa symbolizes is not a distant shore, but the very ground beneath your feet. Namaskaram.